Hockey is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center. In, up, fix, out. Dobbs does it all. Get great offers on most 2014 and 2015 Chevy models. Find new roads at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. A reminder from Budweiser. Designate a driver and enjoy the great time. And we are back in Beantown, Boston, Massachusetts, the home of the Bruins, as the Blues and Bees get together for the first time in the regular season. And the Dobbs starting goaltenders, Brian Elliott, second in the league in goals against, with a 1.87 goals against average. Tuukka Rask, the Finn, has won 5 of his last 6 starts. And Bruin coach Claude Julien, of course, he and Kent Hitchcock were assistant coaches last year on the gold medal Canadian Olympic team. And he just signed a new extension here with the Bruins as Hitchcock's Blues get set to begin a 4-game road trip. Blues hockey sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. As the Blues in their own zone. Bruins keep it in, back on the point. Dougie Hamilton, a shot, and that's tipped by Berglund. And that goes out of play for the Blues. It is Berglund back as an Oshie against Louis Eriksson, Chris Kelly, and Carl Soderberg.
You know, at the beginning of games, there's all a little bit of jockeying to see what kind of matchups you're going to get. So Ken Hitchcock throws out David Backes, and he wants to see what Julien throws out there. And so Julien responds with some really reliable two-way players, Kelly, Soderberg, and Eriksson. So we'll see what Bergeron and Laterra, and if that matchup goes all night long, which I imagine it will.
Now the Bruins around the goal. A shot on goal by Matt Fraser and a save by Brian Elliott. And the Blues the other way. Jaden Schwartz jams one into the corner. He goes after against Dennis Seidenberg. And a big collision back there. And now Fraser up the wing at center. And that's blocked and now handed back to Shattenkirk for Gunnarsson. The Bruins are changing, so that's tipped all the way down by Schwartz and scooped up by Rask, and we get a whistle.
One thing, when you look at the depth that the Blues have, it's going to free up the Stastny line here in this hockey game. And here's the first chance on the wraparound there by Fraser. He's a gifted goal scorer, and he's in the lineup for this game. Obviously, with Brad Marchand not being able to play, he did skate this morning, but not ready to go.
Also out for the Bruins, Kevin Miller, and big defenseman Zdeno Chara, who has been out for a while with a knee injury. Although Chara was working out today.
Yeah, I saw Big Z coming into the building late. That is a player that defends against anybody and has got an underrated offensive touch as well. But boy, do they miss him. Do they miss that presence.
The Blues, knock on wood, are totally healthy tonight, not dressed. Healthy scratches, Chris Butler, Chris Porter, and Magnus Pajärvi.
Well, when you start off on the road as well, you try to get everybody involved right off the hop. You've noticed that the shifts so far are very, very short. Ken Hitchcock making sure he gets that 4 lines out there, and now Stastny, Steen, and Lindstrom, a line that's still trying to find their way chemistry-wise. We saw that in the last 2 games with the Berglund-Backes line, and they're rolling now, so they seem to have a lot more confidence. This will be the next line, I'm sure, to get things going.
As Krejci wins the faceoff from Stastny, and then it's poked into the corner by Bouwmeester. Now around for Lucic, and then Krejci, who's been battling a lower body injury all year, is back after missing his last 4. Now Krejci back on the point, and that goes over the stick of Joe Morrow and all the way down the ice. And now Dougie Hamilton, who leads the Bruins in ice time. On the wing now for Simon Gagne, the former first-rounder by the Flyers. Morrow back to Gagne, and now swatted ahead by Gregory Campbell. And the Bruins lose it at center ice. Steve Ott jams one in behind the goal. Now Rask up the wing for Paille. Ott is all over him. And now Hamilton goes the other way with it. Here's Morrow's pass. That comes to center for Paille. And it goes in behind the Blues goal. Elliott wanders. Look out, traffic back there. And now the Bruins pick it up. In front, Gagne, a shot. And that was turned away by Elliott. At the line to drive off the end boards. And then Gunnarsson hooked down. And a penalty is called here.
It's going to be on the Bruins.
A rather obvious hook on Gunnarsson.
Offensive zone minor penalty called on the Bruins.
Penalty number 22.
Something that Claude Julien wouldn't be happy with there is Elliott coughs the puck up and then he tries to fire it between the body of Gagner and the board. Campbell picks it up and then Gagner with a little wrap around there. Doesn't get through because Max Lapierre is the player that gets down on both knees and ends up blocking that shot. But just as the play developed, Paille got his stick on the right side of the hip of Gunnarsson as Gunnarsson was wheeling around the net.
Blues red-hot power play. Second best at 26.2% off the road. They're at 33%. But the Bruins win the faceoff and clear it away on the penalty kill. Boston 78%. That is 23rd out of 30 teams. Shattenkirk ahead for Tarasenko. That is 7-game point streak end in Saturday's victory in front to Schwartz. And he fanned on the shot. Now back on the line for Steen. Steen and Schwartz play catch. Steen now defers to Tarasenko. He works in. Hard pass across now for Shattenkirk. Off the boards for Schwartz. And then he throws one low for Laterra. He'll guide it around for Tarasenko. And he was checked there, and the Bruins get it. And Louis Eriksson shoots it down the ice.
Tarasenko trying to move around and get away from where he normally is on the right side. He went to the left side. That pass to Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk jumped in there, and if Shattenkirk was a left-hand shot, it would have been fine, but he's a right-hand shot, and it was right off the mark. And the minor penalty was behind the net here, so as Gunnarsson's got the puck, there's the stick infraction there by Paille. And you take a look at the power plays there for the Blues. Number 2 overall in the National Hockey League, and on the road, number 2 as well at 33.3%. That's a remarkable number, scoring 7 goals on 21 chances.
And the Bruins win a face-off. And it's shot down the ice. Oshie back to get it. Ian Pietrangelo back on the points. Oshie to center ice for Stastny. Slowed up. Now Berglund carries on. Back on the point. Oshie feeds Pietrangelo. Back as goes to the front. Here's Berglund now for Oshie. He waits and a shot blocked. Hit a shin pad maybe off Bergeron. And then steered around by Berglund. But the Bruins get it again, and now Bergeron to center ice for Gregory Campbell. And he'll dump one in behind the Blues goal with 27 to go in Paille's minor. Pietrangelo on the dump in from center. Rushed along by Rask, and then Eriksson gets it ahead. And now Chris Kelly, 1-on-2. His shot, and a stick save by Elliott. And the Bruins keep it in. Here is Eriksson, the former Dallas Star. He gives it up to Schwartz. He got it back, though, from Eriksson. And now Schwartz dangles in. Well, what a pass across. And a drive right on goal by Laterra. In front, Tarasenko had a look, and that was poked away. And the puck back to center ice.
Boy, Jori Laterra would love to score against his good buddy Tuukka Rask. He told me before the Nashville game that he knew how to score on Pekka Rinne, the fellow Finn, and he did that. That's a quality chance right there going down the right side, and a great save by Rask.
Yeah, they grew up together in the same town in Finland. Great friends, and of course played on the Olympic team.
Yes, they did. And, you can see on the left side of your screen, take a look at the player jumping over there is Laterra, and he hops on a late change. He gets a good pass here by Schwartz. Schwartz just buys some time. First Schwartz lost it, then he gained it, and then he went through 3 guys on the left side to get the puck over to Laterra. But the word on Rask, and the majority of the goals that get scored on Rask are just above the pad and on the blocker side. If you break down the percentages, and that's exactly where Laterra tried to beat him on that shot.
Laterra has points in 7 consecutive games. Bruins are back at full strength. And here is Krejci. And he'll dump one in. That's an icing call against Boston.
Gives us an opportunity for our Toyota keys to the game as Milan Lucic will go back to the defensive zone for the Boston Bruins on that icing call. But in a game like this, when you look at our Toyota keys to the game, you've got to have quick outlet passes to escape the pressure. It's a 2-1-2 forecheck by the Boston Bruins and get pucks behind the Bruins defensemen. Some young defensemen there. Joe Morrow, Hamilton, Krug, Bartowski, McQuaig. The only real veteran is Dennis Seidenberg, and he's usually paired with Big Z, Zdeno Chara, who's out of the lineup.
And another icing call. So the Bruins, a year ago, they had Chara, Danny Boychuk, a big defenseman, he's been traded. So as you said, it's a bit of a changing of the guard of the Boston defense.
No question about that. For cap reasons, most organizations and general managers thought it was going to be a $71 million cap, and it kind of went to 69. It put general manager Peter Chiarelli in a tough position, had to move a defenseman in Boychuk. Last year they were without Seidenberg for a large portion of the year because of a torn ACL.
As the Bruins lost in the second round to the Montreal Canadiens, their longtime rivals. Now Boston to center ice, thrown in by the rookie Seth Griffith. And O'Connell gave it up, and they score! Bergeron into an empty net, and it's 1-0.
That's a gift for the Boston Bruins to start this hockey game. They nearly had one earlier when Elliott was playing the puck behind the net. It's Simon Gagne blocked an attempted play around the boards. And here it is again, just communication lacking on both sides. The Boston Bruins went through a line change as well. And Seth Griffith went off the ice. Bergeron came on. And Trace Bergeron makes Elliott Cole and the Blues pay on that one.
The Blues had scored the first goal in 6 consecutive games, but not tonight, as Bergeron gets an easy one at 5:45, his 5th of the year. So the Bruins lead 1-0. Now it is Pietrangelo ahead to Berglund. Pietrangelo again off the skates of Backes, and it rolls into the Boston zone. And played by Hamilton. Now for Kelly, and then moved in there by the former Blue, Soderberg. At least Blues property. And that was traded for goaltender Henrik Lundqvist. Goal unassisted. At 5:45. Rask, he gives this up, and now Berglund comes in. And he shields the puck very well. Now back on the line, Gunnarsson, a drive, tipped by Backes wide. And then Soderberg up the wall. And it does come to center ice, where it's handled by Louis Eriksson. Shots are 5-3 Boston. And they lead on the Bergeron goal. Now Reeves for Shattenkirk. Return feed to Reeves. Reeves, Lapierre, and Steve Ott here for the Blues. Reeves back of the goal. Can't center it. And now handled by the little guy, 5'9", Corey Crew.
He's a little guy with a lot of hockey gumption, isn't he?
With a lot of offensive talent, his Crew.
Yeah, nearly had one less finger as well. He got whacked in the hand and went to take off his glove, and that tip of his finger wasn't quite there.
Here comes Tarasenko down the wing, and a shot, and a save by Rask as Tarasenko tried to go 5-hole. So the Bruins get an early gift. Bergeron catches in 1-0 Boston.
It showed how lacking sharpness the Blues were on that first power play. The passes just off the mark. And behind their own net, Elliott had a bouncing puck, and then he struggled with this play right here that results in a little havoc in the defensive zone and a good scoring chance blocked by Lapierre. On the goal that was scored, the Boston Bruins went for a line change. Krejci went off, Bergeron went on, and it looked to me like there might have been a little calling of the puck by Jackman. He was open on the reverse. They didn't see Bergeron, though, because he came off the bench. And regardless of that, it was a little bit of a soft pass there by Cole. It's got to be firmer, and it's got to be more behind the net on that kind of play. So just miscommunication all the way around.
Bergeron gets the goal. 5th of the year. He had 30 goals last year, his second 30-goal campaign. Now it is Bouwmeester in front, and he, at the very last second, knocks it away from Bergeron. And now Laterra goes for a skate back of the goal. Here's Pietrangelo on to center ice for Schwartz. He gets into the Boston zone around Smith. Schwartz sends it around the inboards. Fraser there kicks one deep now for Seidenberg. And Dennis Seidenberg back to this side. And then moved ahead by Adam McQuaid. Seidenberg up the far side. And now Milan Lucic in for Krejci. And he's steered off the puck. Good job by Bouwmeester.
Yeah, Bouwmeester did a good job of getting on the inside of Krejci.
Now Lindstrom ahead for Steen. And he was too closely checked. Lindstrom goes after it. Now Steen in front for Stastny. A shot on goal and a save by Rask. Looked behind him, but he must have had it under the pad.
Yeah. actually getting a real good scoring chance. I think because it was fluttering, John, that's why it was kind of a knuckler. And that's why Tuukka Rask wasn't sure where it was. Good forecheck there. The first man in is Lindstrom. The second man in is Steen. And the third man up high is Stastny with a good scoring chance. So that's a good shift by this Stastny line. And two things that come to mind right away. The 2-1-2, the forecheck of the Boston Bruins have got the Blues a little bit on their heels in their own zone. The second thing is Boston's dumping the puck in and forcing Elliott to play it, which certainly we've talked about this. And of the two goaltenders, Jake Allen is the better puck handler. So it's an area that Elliott's just going to have to be sharp with his decisions and move that puck quickly so everybody knows what's going to happen.
Now Matt Bartkowski into the zone. Here's Soderberg. Leaves it back of the goal for Eriksson. Soderberg again, a shot, and a good save there by Brian Elliott. Well, the Blues should know how to cope with the Bruins' forecheck. As Ray Bennett told us before the game, both clubs use very similar forechecking schemes. Now Steen up the middle. And he is cut off and could get a shot. What a job by Bartkowski. And now Kelly gloves it down at center ice.
Bartkowski's been a healthy scratch, and that's always an eye-opener for a kid that spent time in the minors. And then you kind of forget what you did well to get up to the National Hockey League. He lost his spot. He was beat out by younger players, including Joe Morrow. And so that was a really solid defensive play there by Matt Bartkowski.
Yeah, he played in the last game, and prior to that had sat for 7 straight.
And over to my right in the booth is his American Hockey League coach and my former teammate, Bruce Cassidy, sitting there. So it's got to make Bruce Cassidy happy, but that's a good defensive play. Bartkowski's got good wheels. And obviously when you catch a guy like Steen, who was full speed ahead on that play.
And off the face-off, it is Oshie, along with Backes and Berglund. Here's Patrick Berglund, had a big goal in the last game, along with an assist. Back on the point, and a shot by Cole block. Goes to Oshie, on goal, rebound. Berglund chops it, and Rask got over. And the Finnish netminder made the save.
Blues look like they're settling down a little bit here. I mean, as we said, they started this road trip off a little sloppy, a little sluggish. Passes weren't so crisp. Execution not so good, but give Boston plenty of credit. They've come out with a good start to this game. Oshie, Berglund, Backes. I think their confidence, John, their self-esteem is a lot higher than it was to begin this season. I think they feel good about their game, and that's good news for the Blues.
Now it's Vladdy Tarasenko. Blues down by 1. His pass to the slot. That's picked off by Fraser. On for Bergeron. He gets by Pietrangelo. Now it's centered by Smith. That was broken up by the Blues. Good stick there. And Bullmeister the other way. Now in for Tarasenko. He pulls up. Cuts to the slot. And is chopped down, but can't get a shot on goal.
Might have got a stick up high there. He's fidgeting with his helmet and his teeth right now. Is this going to be icing call? As he was trying to cut through, John, going to his right was the space was closing in on him. And he still tried to make a move through a couple players here. Head up all the way. The little cutback move and the stick right there. That was of Seidenberg. As Tarasenko was falling down, Seidenberg was falling down. So it wasn't a high stick. It was a low stick, but it was still in the face because he was falling.
And a drive for the point. Rebound. Steen, a shot. And that was blocked. And then on the board, Steen going to hold in with his glove. Hit for Stastny. Back of the goal. Lindstrom in the area. But McQuaid gets it for Boston. Now for Seidenberg. And it goes off the boards. No icing here with 9:20 left in the first period. Shot 6-6. Bergeron has the only goal. Yes. Check twists away from the forecheck. Now on for on. He pulls up. And then down the slot for Reeves. And he protects the puck very well in the near corner. Now back to the line. Jackman a shot. And that was a bouncer wide. And then Bartkowski up for Paille. Glove down by Cole. And then to his partner Jackman. Rolling puck. Now in for Steen. Back of the goal. It's Lapierre. And he is held up a bit by Bartkowski. Reeves there. Trying to pry it free. Along with Ott. And Ott's pass was blocked. And the Bruins to center ice. Right. That was a much better team in the last 3 minutes.
Good read by Jackman, though, to swat that puck back away. Kind of caught the Bruins player by surprise there.
Now Krug sends it in. Here's Oshie for Cole and to Jackman. And right up the middle Morrow almost lost that one. Now the Bruins play one to center ice. On for Louis Eriksson. He can't get very far.
Yeah,
And it's Cole.
Jackman held the line nicely there. Closed it. Didn't give him any space.
Cole into Berglund. That pass across the slot intended for Backes. He was upended. Good check there by Eriksson. And the Bruins would have been a 2-on-1, but Kelly was in on right wing. Offside. More from Boston after this, with the Bees up by 1.
Well, time now for our dirt cheap snapshot of the game. Man, I love this segment because it gives us an opportunity to show some pictures. Congratulations to Dominic Hasek, inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame last night. And Jim Corsi, his goaltending coach of many years in Buffalo, was invited by Dom to be a part of it. So I asked Jim Corsi, to get a picture of he and Dominic, and he did so, had a wonderful night. Congratulations to all of the inductees. Just a phenomenal group. I know that you firsthand saw Peter Forsberg, saw Rob Blake, Mike Modano,
The late Pat Burns. And former referee Bill
McCurry on the broadcasting side of it. Congratulations to play-by-play voice of the Chicago Blackhawks, Pat Foley.
And Kevin Allen of USA Today.
Kevin Allen are great writers. Talk about guys that just love the game, and on the national platform, Kevin Allen's done a wonderful job for so many years.
What a class. Absolutely brilliant performers as we get another penalty here, another hooking liner. And here's a look at the Hall of Fame class of 2014.
And Mike Modano on the far left, married former Blue, Joe Micheletti's daughter Allison. I saw she was there last night, of course. And Bill McCurry, Rob Blake. Boy, who could hit with his backside harder than Rob Blake in the history of the game? Huh?
Maybe Bob Plager.
I was going to say Bob Plager, Ed Van Imp.
Yeah.
You know, but Rob Blake was unique because of the size of him.
Yeah, he was about 6'4".
That's right.
So Kelly gets a hooking liner. The Blues on the power play. 0 for 1, no shots. Control the face-off, back to the line now for Shatner. Tarasenko. Steen on a one-timer. He broke his stick in half. Now Schwartz in front. Shatner, a shot. And a save by Rask. And the Blues hold it in. And it's got to be tied by Campbell and not get out of the zone.
Now that's a much sharper way to start the power play there. The pass crisp and not standing around and waiting for a play to happen, moving the puck and having Boston chase it a little bit.
Now Tarasenko gets in for Schwartz and hits some of the lumber in the corner, and the Bruins get it, and Seidenberg locks it high and down the ice.
I'd say Tuukka Rask has been sharp early on in this game. Made a number of good saves, starting with that Jori Lehtera chance in the first couple of minutes.
65 to go in the power play as Oshie dangles into the zone. He'll flip one behind the defense. Bartkowski back defending, comes around to Backes, who leads the Blues with 4 power play goals. Got Stastny in front. Oshie a shot, and he put that one way high, and it goes over the glass.
Well, that's where Paul Stastny is so highly regarded in those small area passes. In the meantime, Kevin Shatner, former number 3 for the BU Terriers under Jackie Paca. He gets a chance right here on the slot, and a great save there by Tuukka Rask. Nice pass by Schwartz. But there's Stastny feeding TJ Oshie on the far side. I think he might have originally been looking for David Backes, who had given the puck over to Stastny, but Backes just went to the front of the net, and it did leave TJ Oshie wide open, but he flipped it over the glass and out of play.
And that's why the face-off is at center ice with 45 to go. Give the Blues man advantage. Here's Joakim Lindstrom. He'll chip one behind the defense. Way back defending. And now Paille with it. He reverses the flow. Campbell against Oshie. And they tie each other up. And then poked away by a good stick there by Daniel Paille. Now back is for Pietrangelo. And then back in deep it goes. Stastny after it. Bruins come up with it. Bergeron. And he fires the puck out of the zone.
I think the players aren't superstitious. Alex Pietrangelo last year always had white tape on his blade, John. This year he started the year with black tape. Didn't feel like his game is where it should be. Back to the white.
Bruins are back at full strength. Here comes Tarasenko. No shots again on the power play. Tarasenko was run down in the corner by McQuaid. And then Backes there. It comes free for Bartkowski. And a pass up the middle. And then walked along by Krejci. And his pass tipped by Laterra. That goes high in behind the Blues bench. An early goal by Bergeron has the Bruins up 1-0.
I'm Pat Ferris, back inside our Fox Sports Midwest Live studio at Ballpark Village. Blues trail the Bruins 1-0, 5:15 left in that first period in Boston. Coming up on the St. Paul GM Country Intermission Report, we'll get Bernie Burgo's take on the first 20 minutes. We'll look at the Hall of Fame inductions from last night, and we'll take a trip around the rest of the league. But now, it's back to Boston, and John and Darren with the call, guys.
Thank you, Pat. Blues have won their last 3 road games, 4-1-1 on the year. The Bruins have won 5 straight at home and are 7-4 this year here at TD Garden. And Jackman placed it high into the Bruins zone. And turning with the puck is Torrey Krug. Watched by Berglund. Tipped into the zone to Bergeron. And then punched the other way by Jackman. And the Bruins reloaded their own line. Bergeron. Now on to Hamilton. Hamilton flies one over Jackman's head. He gets there. Up the boards now Berglund. And now Oshie stripped to the puck at the Blues line.
And the Blues doing a good job in terms of their neutral zone coverage. It's really a 5-man unit between the two blue lines.
What a tip there. Laterra into Berglund, a shot. And he put that one wide. What a setup by Laterra on a one-touch pass.
Yep, quick pass in flight, and Berglund misses on the stick side. Berglund scored in the last game, fired it to the stick side against Justin Peters of the Washington Capitals. Quick little play right there. One-touch pass. A brilliant pass there by Laterra. Brilliant pass. Facing one way, drags the defenseman towards him, knowing that Berglund's coming with speed.
And his first goal in 6 games in the Blues' victory on the weekend. What a brilliant feed, though. Now the Blues with Schwartz. Knocked down. Now Schwartz gets up in a battle there against Morrow. Up the boards, Pietrangelo right on the blue line. Held it in. Here's Laterra again. And finally broke it up and not cleared again. Pietrangelo, another hold in. Another hold in by Pietrangelo. And now Tarasenko in front for Laterra. And he can't get a shot. And the Bruins finally to center ice. And Griffith comes in. All he does is play one to the corner now for Lucic, who is tied up in knots by Pietrangelo. Now back of the goal for Krejci. Here's the Czech-born Krejci. Seidenberg. And then Griffith back of the goal. He goes back to the top. And a shot. Rebound Lucic on the doorstep. And either Fed on an Elliott made a great save. I don't know which. And the puck comes to center ice.
And it jumps off the blue line. Jumps out of the blue line, excuse me, to make it an offside play. Big battle in front of the net between Lucic there and Pietrangelo. And then the puck squirts over to the left, and Elliott just dives right there, and it ends up jumping over the stick there of Lucic. And then kind of a little one-hopper right there. Otherwise, got the wide open net as Elliott was desperately scrolling back to his left.
He does not miss many of those. One of the best power forwards in the NHL has 3 goals on the year. Now Gunnarsson for Shattenkirk. And Lindstrom is tied up in knots. Back on the point of shot. Seidenberg let it go. That was tipped wide. And then Shattenkirk off the boards and out. 3 minutes left here in the first. Krug steers one back of the goal for Bartkowski. And then Eriksson to Soderberg. He'll drop it off, and the shot is up high as Chris Kelly tried to go over the shoulder of Elliott. And Lindstrom under some pressure on the boards. Lost it. Soderberg with it. And that drive blocked by Gunnarsson's stick, and it goes out of play. Well, become a part of the new Blues Hall of Fame Plaza with a personalized commemorative brick. A limited number of bricks are on sale now. 3 brick sizes are available and order by December 5th to receive a certificate of ownership in time for the holidays and also get 2 free tickets for the December 8th or 11th games. Go to stlouisblues.com/Blues Plaza for details. Great new program just started by the Blues. Hope you become involved. As now the Blues and Ian Cole. For Ott. And then Cole. He'll chip one by the defenseman and then a hip check there by Hamilton. Sends Cole spinning down. And it comes around to the far side now for Morrow. Former Penguin draft choice. Cleared to center. Here's Cole. He defers to Jackman. That pass tipped away, kept in. Hamilton with it. Wrist shot. That's a hot stick and wide. And now Gregory Campbell. To the line again, Hamilton. And a snapshot blocked by the hand of Ott, and that stung a bit. He goes off. And Ryan Reeves in on the forecheck. And the Winnipeg native. Good cycle there for Lapierre. He's blasted down. And picked up by the Bruins and then cleared away by Morrow. All the way down the ice.
Doesn't look good for Steve Ott. Went right down the runway after he blocked that shot with his hand and dropped his stick.
And this does come to center ice and then played back in the zone by Patrick Berglund. And when a player does that, Darren, you've got to suspect he knows something is amiss.
Yeah, no question about that. You see Hamilton's there, and it looks like he's going around the boards, and then he goes to the middle of the ice, and it goes right off the right hand of Steve Ott's back of his hand right there.
Here comes Pietrangelo with 80 seconds left in the first period. Now for Berglund a shot. And that was off a shin pad. And then Dennis Seidenberg up the far wing. Good pitch by Pietrangelo. Seidenberg has it again for Boston. In on the forecheck. Oshie comes up with it. Back on the line now for Bouwmeester. In the slot, intended for Backes. In the final minute here, Oshie back of the goal. Trying to get it free. Backes
went to play the puck, and his stick got caught in the referee's skates.
And it got jammed out of his hand. Bouwmeester a long dump in from center. And Rask tees it up for Seidenberg. And the Bruins exit the zone. Here's Matt Fraser. Steered around by Bouwmeester now for Oshie. And there's that little flipper back to center. And the Bruins get there first. And here they come, Lucic. Into Griffith, a shot. And that's blocked by Gunnarsson. Good stick there by Carl Gunnarsson.
Twice in this period, Gunnarsson showing a good twig on those kind of plays. As we take a look at our Plaza tire service shot comparison, Alex Pietrangelo, number 27 for the Blues, going up against Dougie Hamilton, number 27 for the Bruins. 3 attempts for Hamilton, 2 for Pietrangelo. Alex Pietrangelo played with Dougie's brother Freddie, his older brother, that's a San Jose Sharks property, with Niagara Falls of the Ontario Hockey League. And Dougie Hamilton told me today that he'd go watch his older brother play, and the more he watched Alex Pietrangelo, the more he wanted to be like him, and wanted to play like him, and wanted to defend like him. And he ends up being in Boston and getting number 27. He was thrilled with the number.
And a good face-off win. Krejci shot it wide. Now Laterra with it. And then walked in offside by Gunnarsson. And he takes exception to a bit of a late hit with 8 seconds left in the period.
Gunnarsson knows about the rivalry with the Boston Bruins as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Led 3-1 in that playoff series a few years ago before losing in incredible fashion here in Boston in Game 7.
Yeah, they led by 3 goals in the third period. The time should wind down here. Krug at center, and that will do it. So not a bad period by the Blues. A bit of a slow start, a tough giveaway. But the Blues came on late, but could not solve routes.
Yeah, they were unsettled to begin this hockey game for sure. And I think the forecheck of the Boston Bruins caught them a little bit off guard. That's where you really need to be sharp. And I thought as the period went along, they got stronger line by line.
The only goal by Bergeron at 5:45 of the opening period. Blues outshoot the Bruins 8-7, but trail by 1 after 20. and Bruins meet for the first time in the regular season so far. Patrice Bergeron goal is the only scoring. 1-0 Bruins after one.
And for the NHL's first star of the week, the Finnish-born Jori Lehtera. A slow start for all the Blues involved in this hockey game, but as it developed, he made a couple of real good plays here. Real strong hockey sense. Along the blue line, he knows that Berglund's there behind him. He takes the man into him and then gives him a little bit of a push pass right there, right on the tape to Berglund. Then on the power play, setting up Shattenkirk. That was the best chance, clearly, of the two power plays that the Blues had. Then Schwartz feeds Lehtera coming off the bench on a wicked one right over the blocker's side. That was at even strength. So good start there for Jori Lehtera.
And the team's at full strength to begin this second period. Blues in Montreal on Thursday. Then it's on to Ottawa and Winnipeg before the Blues come home next Tuesday for a couple of games over the Thanksgiving week. Blues hockey is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Off the face-off, the Bruins. Soderberg gets the puck down the ice. And back to get it is Bouwmeester. Now for the captain, Backes. His pass taken off the boards by Oshie. And then Bouwmeester trying to hunt it down back of the net. Now for Berglund. Soderberg up the middle. And that is checked back by Oshie for Pietrangelo. Now Bouwmeester to Lehtera. At the Boston line. Can't get around Hamilton.
Good defensive play there by Hamilton, standing up Lehtera. Doesn't back off and give him free space entering the zone.
And a pass again for Lehtera. And then swatted in by Oshie. And to Barask to the corner. Hamilton. Up the far side. They got it by Tarasenko, who's on the ice now. And now Tarasenko sends it back to his own line for Gunnarsson. Down the boards for Stastny. Trying to get away from his check. Bruins intercept. And they control it at their own line. Hamilton again. Tipping that is Bergeron up high. And then Schwartz takes a hit.
Shattenkirk took that puck up high right in the chin area.
Stays on the ice.
First period, Pietrangelo took a stick up high from his own defensive partner, Jay Bouwmeester.
Now McQuaid to center ice. Broken up. Here is Cole. Right back in. Joachim Lindstrom a pass. Backdoor to Steen. And a good stick there by Rask.
What a pass by Lindstrom. Started with Cole making a good firm pass through the neutral zone.
And now the puck in the corner. Bruins trying to freeze it. And the Swedes, Steen and Lindstrom trying to pry it free. Along with Stastny.
Krejci was doing the smart thing. He was pushing Steen into the pile. And then Steen read that. You don't want three forwards down deep like that. So Steen released and got in a good position.
Now Lindstrom to Cole. And his pass off a stick in front.
He's got to shoot that puck right there.
Yeah, he's got a heavy shot. Now Griffith goes after it against Cole. Puck comes up the boards, and the Bruins, Krejci plays one, but it comes to center ice. And now grabbed again by Krejci. He is stripped of the puck by Stastny.
See the calmness there of Stastny. He looked one way, didn't pass it on the stick. Bruins skates by him, does it twice.
Now Cole for Lapierre. And against Bartkowski. And he emerges with the puck. Up for Milan Lucic. Good stick there by Bouwmeester. And then slammed in by Krejci. As both clubs make changes. Here's Pietrangelo. Rink wide feed for Ott. Good to see him back after blocking a shot with his hand. Now Reeves gets it for the Blues. Here's Reeves, a drive, and a save there by Rask. And Gregory Campbell, son of longtime NHL defenseman Coley Campbell, who now works for the NHL. 3:20 gone, second period.
Gregory's a good, solid hockey player. He's just well-versed in all three zones. And that's why Claude Julien has a lot of trust in Gregory Campbell.
And now it is Shattenkirk for Gunnarsson. Tipped to the line by Berglund. Now Backus a forecheck. Gets it. Here's Berglund. Trying to cut in front of the net. And it's knocked away to the corner. What a play there by Berglund. And then David Backus, after that big hit, he works in against Soderberg. And then Berglund emerges. Back on the line to Shattenkirk. And a shot. Hits something on the way through. Shattenkirk again. This Backus line continues where they left off in the first period. Now Gunnarsson to Shattenkirk. Wrist shot. Tipped by Berglund high. And then it's chased down by Seidenberg. And the Bruins at center. Lose it. Here's Oshie back in. He goes wide. And a diving play by McLean. He knocked Oshie off the puck. And now Kelly gets it to the corner for the goaltender Rask. Here's McQuaid around. And a good forecheck by the Blues. Laterra to the corner. Now for Schwartz.
Nice play.
Back to Jackman. A shot. And that's tipped out high. And then kept along by Cole. Here's Jackman again. Get up high by Seidenberg. Schwartz spins out of the corner. Trying to get free. And a backhander. And then Tarasenko trying to fake it off the pad of Tuukka Rask. All Blues in the last couple of minutes. Here's Cole up the wing for Tarasenko. And he fights off the Smith check. And then Tarasenko with 3 Bruins there decides to dump it in deep. And then a giveaway by Boston. Steen in front. And a little backhander by Stastny wide of the goal.
Stastny had a little bit more time than that. He kind of rushed it when there was no pressure on him.
Here's Cole. Funnels one to the corner now for Stastny. And then for Lindstrom. He protects the puck very well. Nice pass back. Bouwmeester, the drive, and it got through, and a save by Rask. And the Bruins chip it out of midair back to center ice.
Push is on for the Blues. Trying to get back in this hockey game, trailing by 1. Alex Steen just dropped his glove, and he is heading off the ice right now.
And goes to the Blues locker room. He dropped his left glove. And the Bruins winding around the boards. Fraser. And he'll dump it in. Pietrangelo trying to catch the Bruins on a change to Reeves off his stick. And Tuukka Rask almost gave that away. The only goal tonight by Bergeron back in the first period. No icing here. And a good play off the boards. Now it's stolen by the Bruins. Krejci. And a stick there by Pietrangelo to knock it away. Lucic back of the goal. Krejci in front. And that was knocked away as he never got it on goal. And that's lobbed to center ice by Ott. Loose puck gobbled up by Lucic. Here are the Bruins. 4-on-2 to the zone. Drop pass Hamilton in front. Oh, wide open net for Morrow. And he missed everything.
2 defensemen leading the rush offensively for Boston. Hamilton and Morrow.
On a 4-on-2. Now Griffith to the point. And a drive by Lucic, and it's caught by Elliott. As the Blues dodge a bullet there, it's still 1-0 Boston.
Well, 2 Blues players have left the ice at one point. In the first period, Ott left for a short amount of time at the end of the period. Steen coming through the neutral zone here takes a backhanded whack in the paw there by Fraser as Steen's picking up speed there, and you can see that slash is a high one and one right on the heel of the stick, so certainly Fraser got all of it there. There's the scoring chance that we're talking about. Hamilton over his defensive partner, Joe Morrow, and Morrow just flutters on that pass across. Otherwise, the goaltender Elliott's got to be committed towards the puck carrier, which was Hamilton. It was a wide open net.
Morrow, a former first rounder by the Penguins, came in the Brendan Morrow trade as the Bruins win the faceoff. But looking at that replay involving Steen, it looked like he got more on the wrist than on the hand there.
Yeah, it's one of your classic, heel of the blade whacks, discreet one. Got away with it. I'm sure Steen caught a number. It always happens in this game.
The Blues have had the only 2 power plays tonight. The Blues did not take a penalty in their 4-1 victory against the Capitals on Saturday. So they've been a very well-behaved team here. Uh-oh, the Bruins off the face-off in front. And Soderberg fanned on it. He was wide open. Now back to Morrow for Hamilton. Wrist shot. That was off Jackman in the slot. And now Jackman goes for a skate to the corner. Oh, he gave it away. And Elliott bailed him out as Soderberg had a great chance. Boy, the Blues have not made a lot of giveaways tonight, but when they've made a mistake, at least a couple, they have been big ones.
Been glaring. Ian Cole made that bad pass on the only goal of the game so far to Jackman. There was a too soft of a pass that was picked off by Bergeron into the empty net.
And now Hamilton again for the Bruins. That pass, not a lot of mustard on it. And then ripped in by Gunnarsson. That comes around for Tarasenko. And then Schwartz. He's mauled in the corner. Now Schwartz gets it back for Laterra. And that goes wide. And then Tarasenko. Nice pass back for Gunnarsson. Shattenkirk with it. In the slot. And Laterra was upended. And the Bruins with Fraser on the left wing side. Pass to center for Smith, broken up. And the Blues have possession again. Shattenkirk to center. Laterra, nice pass for Schwartz. And that is bottled up at the line. And now a backpedaling Shattenkirk.
John, let's keep our eye on Barrett Jackman. The veteran really was slow getting off the ice, and he's been hunched over on the bench since he left the ice on his last shift.
As Elliott rings the puck around the far side. Stastny trying to kick it free, and now the Blues to center ice. Schwartz for Shattenkirk. And the Bruins back defensively. Good forecheck there by Stastny. Creates the turnover. And then Lindstrom to the line to Pietrangelo. A shot and a blocker save by Rask. Here's Steen to Bouwmeester. Wide open Pietrangelo. Fires it. That hit his own man, Paul Stastny. And the Bruins the other way with Payet. Now back to the goal. Bouwmeester in some traffic. Two Bruins all over him. Both clubs have had superb forecheck games going tonight. Stastny to center ice into Steen. He goes wide. And a shot on goal. And Rask bobbled it. And that was almost in on the near side.
Your classic pass-off pad there. Funneling that shot to the left pad of Tuukka Rask, looking for a big rebound. Smart play by Steen.
Drop pass to Hamilton. And that is blocked by Pietrangelo.
And he's hurt.
And he's in some pain. Now Griffith with it. Far side, Krejci lobs it up high. Saved by Elliott. And it comes down, and now it's walked along by Oshie.
Tough one for Pietrangelo. Big Snell-like pass. Takes the hit to make a play. And now he can't get off the ice.
And Oshie took a heavy hit at his own line. That's tipped down by Berglund. And Rask, who won the Vezina Trophy last year, plays one to the far side. There's Oshie again, creating some havoc. Fights off the check. Now to Berglund. Berglund back to Shattenkirk. Gunnarsson fires it, tipped by Oshie, and that was off the glass. And the Bruins play it up the near side to center ice. Past the midway point of the second period. Lafayette at the red line. Can't find it. And that's steered in by Griffith on goal. And teed up by Elliott. Now for Shattenkirk, who, by the way, had dinner with his former coach in Colorado, assistant coach Dave Quinn, who's now the head coach here at BU. And Reeves takes the puck down low now for Lapierre. Can't center it. And Eriksson away for Boston. And here comes Krug. There's Jackman back on the ice. Boy, a lot of Blues have limped off, but have not really missed shifts tonight. There's on. He goes down heavily. Bartkowski to the corner. Eriksson battles against Jackman. And Eriksson trying to get free. In the circle. And then Bartkowski can't get a shot through. On to Krug. And his pass across the ice. Now centered by Soderberg for Eriksson. Bartkowski now to Krug again. He works in. He scores! Krug into the top corner.
Soderberg was crossing in front of the net. Krug lets this shot go. Ryan Reeves is the right winger coming out to cover the left point. But Krug is a smart and crafty player. The former Michigan State star has outstanding hockey sense. And he's calm under pressure. 47 on the bottom of your screen. He gets the pass here from Matt Bartkowski, and they've played well together. There's the shot, and I thought it might have been redirected by Soderberg, but that look there, I think it just went all the way through. Little wrister. Hard to tell. The referee went right in the way there as that shot was crossing. scream like Lego right there, but there's no question that the goaltender, Brian Elliott, was screened ever so slightly on that play, just as that puck was whizzing by his left shoulder.
Krug's third of the year. First in 8 games. And it's 2-0 Boston. Now the puck comes around for Pietrangelo. And then Schwartz had it knocked away by Bergeron. Here's Bouwmeester on to Tarasenko. Great pass into Schwartz. With Patera. Now the late man Tarasenko. He works in to Pietrangelo. And he can't get a shot. Oh, Tarasenko could have shot that. And now it comes around for Gregory Campbell. He'll drop it off to Seidenberg. And then Morrow up the middle for Campbell. Blues intercept. Here they come again. Tarasenko walks in. Fires it right on goal. And a pass saved by Rask. And somebody goes sliding into the net. And we get a stoppage. As Tarasenko with a couple of golden opportunities to get the Blues on the board. Krug has led 2-0 Boston.
There's the 2 goal scorers. Torrey Krug on the right makes it a 2-0 game. Bergeron got an empty netter on a freebie there in the first period. And here's a good chance earlier. Steen rifling this off that far pad on purpose with Paul Stastny driving hard to the net, just misses. And then Tarasenko gets a good chance down the right side and right in the wheelhouse, has a really good scoring chance before Steen collapses into the goaltender. Before that, Tarasenko had a chance to shoot it on the left side, but he thought he'd seen a wide open Pietrangelo on the right. The pass was just off the mark, so it was a scoring chance squandered. The Blues have got to do everything now, putting pucks, as many pucks in the net, towards the net of Tuukka Rask. He'll afford to give up a good scoring opportunity here.
Last goal through from Barkowski and Eriksson at 11:31. Another shot for the point. That one by Barkowski, and then Lucic fires it wide. Comes around to Krug. Now Krejci for Krug, spins off the Gunnarsson check. And then Griffith in the corner. In the deep slot. Oh, Lucic hadn't lost it. And the Blues the other way. Long pass by Steen. Moved along by Lindstrom. Slowed up. Now trying to make a play. Oh, Griffith with a rather risky pass right through the legs of Stastny. And then the Bruins come in. Griffith with it, a shot. Off Shattenkirk up high. And we get a whistle. Fox Sports Midwest and Bommarito Automotive Group present the Missouri High School Football Championships. 2 days of live coverage starts November 28th. Get the full schedule and channel numbers at foxsportsmidwest.com. Watch the Show Me Bowl on Fox Sports Midwest Plus. And of course, in the Class 6 final, powerhouses CBC and Rockhurst will clash.
You mentioned that Seth Griffith really has shown some great offensive prowess for the Boston Bruins. 2 goals his last 4 games, and a brilliant one a few games ago
against Corey Snyder of the Devils. A backhand shot through his legs as the Blues shoot it down. No icing here. 6:15 to go in the period. Now Oshie in there along with Berglund. And then it comes around to Backes. Here is Bouwmeester. Wrist shot. That goes wide. And then tapped along by Kelly to center ice. And the Blues get it back. Backes. And that hit Kelly in the leg and Kerm's down the ice. The Blues have outshot the Bruins 16-12, but trail by 2. And Backes did not touch this one, so we get the icing call.
That solid coverage by the Boston Bruins there. They left very little for Alex Pietrangelo. And a lot of times with a swarming defensive club, you've got to reverse the flow and go D to D. Change it a little bit. The Bruins are so good on the strong side of the ice.
Now Bouwmeester in a battle against Fraser. And then Bergeron wrapped up. Smith in the deep slot. Check there. And Tarasenko gets it off a skate to center ice. Thrown back in by Riley Smith. And the pass for Pietrangelo. And then skated ahead by Schwartz. Skated Schwartz comes in. Fakes it. Right to the end wall by Bergeron. Tarasenko there. Now Schwartz trying to get in front. And the Bruins with a Krug. Check there by Schwartz. Good forecheck there, and then Fraser lobs it high and out of danger. Knocked out of midair by the Blues. Stasny into Shattenkirk. And he comes in, and a blocker save there by Rask, and he punches that out of play. With 4:55 to go in the second, and the Bruins enjoying a 2-0 lead.
Cold night here in downtown St. Louis at Fox Sports Midwest Live in Ballpark Village. Cold night for the Blues so far offensively, trailing the Bruins by a pair of goals. 4:55 left in that second period in Boston. Coming up, Jack and Buck's intermission report. In case you missed it, we'll look back at the first 40 minutes. Bernie breaks down this second period and a drive around the league, all coming up at intermission. Right now, John Darren, back to you in Boston.
All right, Pat. And for only the second time in 18 games, the Blues trailed 2-0 in a game. The other time was in Anaheim in the fifth game when they suffered a 3-0 loss. So, Darren, they have not been in this position too often this year.
They haven't put themselves in this type of spot. And generally during the course of the game, they have the ability to turn it around rather quickly. They don't have to be told too many times that they're not playing a strong game, or they're not exiting their zone, or they're not executing. They figure it out a lot during the course of the game, but they really have to turn it up a notch here, though. I mean, this Boston Bruin team here has lost, it looks like, one more defenseman in this game. Adam McQuaid blocked a shot from Shattenkirk a little while ago, and he hasn't returned yet to the bench.
Now Krejci, good move up the middle. Now a pass back, Lucic for Hamilton. Walks the line, then a shot blocked by Gunnarsson, and that stung. And he shoots it down the ice. That should be an icing call. And Gunnarsson's in pain. Well, the holidays are right around the corner. 3- and 5-game Blues holiday packs go on sale now. 3-game packs start at $99. Buy a 5-game pack in select locations and get a free Tarasenko blanket for every 2 seats purchased. Buy your holiday pack before December 5th and get December 8th against Florida for free. Go to stlouisblues.com or call 314-622-BLUE.
Well, that's perfect. You get a free Tarasenko fleece blanket for all the guys he's fleeced so far this year.
Very fitting, isn't it?
It's very fitting. Holiday fitting.
And the holidays, it's hard to believe, are right around the corner.
That's why just put the old 9 of hearts on that thing. Because he's given teams the 9 of hearts, like you read about.
Now it is Gunnarsson for Stasny.
You want one of those blankets, don't you?
I really do, with the 9 of hearts. Although I thought that was patented by you, Darren Pang. Guess not. Shattenkirk from center. And Seidenberg turns out of the corner. Now Kelly ahead. And then Eriksson lost the puck. Delayed offside. And the Blues throw one the other way. Here's Backes for Berglund. Kept in by Backes. And he fanned on that pass. Fraser gets it back for the Bruins. Now into Bergeron. He scored the first goal. And Krug has added to the lead here in the second. Now Ian Colo, a risky pass there. Got away with it. Backes ahead for Oshie. And he juggles the puck at center ice. And then Backes a big hit. Oshie a big hit against him. That was by Riley Smith. And here's Jackman. Off Berglund's stick. With 3 minutes left here in the period. Oshie gets it back for the Blues. And then it goes back to the... Oh, no, Cole hit hard by Payet.
Yeah, Cole doesn't like that one because Cole was looking down for that puck. Payet came in and just went chest to chest on Ian Cole. This has the ability to get sparked up here this game.
We have had a lot of big hits. And now it's Oshie. He's been on the ice for a while. Gets it near the line, but not out.
This is as sloppy as I've seen the Blues handling the line, the blue line. Managing the game that way.
And now Oshie fights off the check and then finally cleared away by Backes and then dumped in by Berglund. And it is Hamilton back to get it. Their first round pick in 2011. On to Campbell. Good stick there by Tarasenko. But then moved ahead to Seidenberg.
Sorry, John keep your eye on Tarasenko's stick. He just block that pass. And often when that happens, you've got a little bit of a weak point there.
And here he comes up the middle. Let's see how the stick holds up. And a diving play by Bartkowski to knock it away. And he never got a shot. And then Laterra battles. Tipped by Lucic, not out. And then Schwartz had his shot blocked.
Yeah, smart play by Krejci right there. Lift the stick of Schwartz at the last second.
And Krug from behind his own goal on to Bartkowski. With 90 seconds left in the period. Krejci in on the wing. That's broken up by Bouwmeester. And now Schwartz to center ice for Pietrangelo. Boy, the Blues would love one late here. And a shot by Pietrangelo off the arm of Grass.
It looked like there was room on the far side. Tuukka Rask got beat last week against Toronto on the far side on 2 snappers by Phil Kessel. Looked like there was room there as well.
Now it is Lindstrom. He can't get very far. Bruins come back the other way. Riley Smith, the former Dallas Star. Back of the goal in front. Wide open. Rob Bergeron, and a scramble ensues, and the Blues take it away from the front of the net. What a chance for Bergeron.
That's battling right there by Elliott. That's a key moment there. Falling behind 3-0 would have been very difficult to come back from.
And the puck played off the boards by Smith. Here is Gunnarsson ahead to Shattenkirk. Bruins back in. Shattenkirk, a pass, hit a skate. Then Steen does a Savardian spinorama. Steen back of the goal now for Reeves. And a great stick there by Louis Eriksson to break it up. And a 3-on-2. Eriksson in front to Soderberg. And they score! No ball, they're going to roll. Fraser interfering with Elliott.
A missed opportunity and a good defensive play at one end by Louis Eriksson as the clock is winding down. Ends up the Bruins get an unbelievable scoring chance. And I'm just going to say from my first instance, I didn't think this was goalie interference. But we'll keep your eye on that loose puck right there. It bounces off the player. That's Matt Fraser. And the goalie interference part comes, I think, after the puck goes off the body of Fraser and he's on his knees. And you see here, off the stick, off the body, now he's sliding. So I guess the referee's thinking because Fraser eliminates the goalie from making a save, he knocks him out of position after it goes off the body of Fraser. We've seen a lot of this type of situation called the goal. And we've seen it both ways, but after it hits the body of Fraser, isn't going in even without any kind of contact with the goalie and the momentum of the player sliding into the goaltender. Well, the Blues will take it. These are one of those moments that you've got to take advantage of for sure. Off the stick of Elliott. Fraser's on his knees now, so he's sliding. So there's, I mean, clearly he obviously makes contact with Brian Elliott's right pad, blocker, and stick. Like, my point is that puck behind him before he actually causes Elliott to lose his position. And this is another conversation where the general managers just met again, and that conversation comes up time and time again. Should goaltender interference be reviewable?
And it's not. And you can't slide into a goalie and push him into the net.
No.
But as you said, that puck hit him first, and then he hit the goalie. So Elliott, did he not, or did he have a good chance to play the puck? I think it's a tough call there. Really tough call to make.
And you have to watch it at game speed.
And they don't get a review now.
Right. So, I mean, at game speed, when I saw it, I thought it was going to be a good goal. But Fraser ends up sliding in because he and Reeves had collapsed down low.
So no goal and a break for the Blues. It remains 2-0. Pietrangelo back to Bouwmeester. And time's going to run down in the second period. And the Bruins add to their lead. As Krug scores at 11:31, and they have a goal called back with 9 seconds left. We'll see if the Blues can take advantage of that break in the third period. Blues have outshot the Bruins 18-14. A trail 2-0 after 40 minutes. We have play two, and the Boston Bruins lead the St. Louis Blues 2-0 as we get set for the third period. John and Darren back in the broadcast booth, and we'll see if the Blues can capitalize on maybe a break at the end of that second period.
Well, even communicating with the NHL offices, looking at this play, it's a tough call even for them if they were having to make that decision, if it was a reviewable situation. But the one thing, as I watch the play at full speed, you know, you have instincts that say, oh, I thought that should be a goal. You get to look at it again and dissect it again. And, you know, when Matt Fraser actually ended up going down, the big key is he trips over the skate of Ryan Reeves. Reeves skates over him. Fraser gets tripped up, and that's why he's on his knees right here. So then the puck obviously goes in off of Fraser, and then he knocks into the goaltender. So, I mean, the tough call. That's one of those very, very difficult calls, and I can imagine in a 7-game playoff series how much scrutiny, you know, that would go through. But at the end of the day, and me of all guys being part of the goalie union shouldn't complain about a goalie interference call, but they are tough calls, and certainly Elliott isn't able to get over to his right and be able to make that save because of the body Fraser coming into him. But my point is Fraser was actually tripped up by Reeves to go into him. He didn't go into him on his own.
The Bruins are 7-1 when leading after 2. The Blues are 0-2 and trailing after 40 minutes. And here come the Bruins into the zone. Soderberg around a man in front, a shot off the goal post. Oh, Eriksson hit the goal post. And another break for the Blues. Now centered by Soderberg. That hit the back of Elliott. And the Blues take over, and Bouwmeester on to center ice. Driven right back in by Morrow. Elliott under some pressure there from Eriksson. Center ice now for Steen. Good hard pass for Stastny. And he'll drop one to the corner for Lindstrom. And his centering feed. That's cleaned up by Riley Smith. And the Bruins on the attack. And Krug a bouncer. That's gloved by Elliott. And we got to stop it.
Well, good scoring opportunity for the Boston Bruins here. And another big break for the Blues. A great pass, and Eriksson's all alone in the slot as the Blues swarm the puck carrier. The late man is just, Eriksson is just slightly chased there by Alexander Steen. He rifles it off the pipe on the glove side on Elliott.
And now it's Bergeron.
What a pass by Soderstrom, huh?
Terra is kicked out. Schwartz will take it. Bergeron, a very good face-off man. He wins it. And a shot trickles up high, wide of the goal. And then tipped back to the goal by Tarasenko. He can't move it along. Gets some help there from Laterra. And now Schwartz behind his back for Shattenkirk. And the former BU star drives it in. Laterra tips it. Tarasenko a shot. And he whipped that one high. Where is it? Must have gone out of play. I have no idea where the puck is. Maybe it's on top of the net.
No?
It must be out of play. As they go over and get a new puck.
Well, this is why the Blues are a scarier team than they have been in the past. It's just because of the high-end skill level of a guy like Tarasenko. I think Jaden Schwartz has had a real strong game, and all it takes is that one opportunity. And they're right back into this hockey game. 20 minutes of hard work and get right back into it.
As Stastny wins the faceoff, Bouwmeester to the corner. Now the Bruins break it up. Griffith to center ice, off Krejci's stick. And now it is Berglund. Stastny and Lindstrom. And the Blues feed the puck up the wing. Lindstrom. And that bounces in on goal. And that is scooped up by Rask.
Give us a chance now as we monitor the line combinations for our Plaza Tire Service shot comparison. Two excellent young defensemen. And Dougie Hamilton's got the edge here in terms of attempts, although 5 of them have been blocked by the Blues forwards and the Blues defensemen in front of Brian Elliott. Both right-hand shots, both products of the Ontario Hockey League.
And now Laterra on the face-off. Bounces in on goal. Darren, on that last shift, they had Berglund on with Stastny and Lindstrom. We'll see if Steen gets moved up to that back as an Oshie line.
shocked with the way the flow hasn't gone for the Backus Ocean Berglund line. They'll give that a little bit of a change, see if you can get a little bit of spark here.
And the Bruins through center. Smith dribbles one into the corner. And Laterra back to get it now on for Schwartz. Drops it off Laterra. In for Schwartz. He pulls up to make a play. Back to Shattenkirk. He walks the line. And then a shot. That hits Smith and Karams to center ice. And then Schwartz back for Gunnarsson. As the Blues make a change on the fly. Tarasenko. Nice pass into Schwartz. Down his off wing. Schwartz, a shot. Tipped. Tarasenko leaves it back of the goal. Now stolen, centered, right through the blue paint, and here's Ian Cole. Down the boards for Tarasenko, and he can't knock it down, and he goes off on a line change. And the Bruins to center ice. Griffin, 2-on-2, dropped off to Krejci. Now Krejci looks out high. Here's Hamilton in, and he lost the puck in the corner, stolen by Backus. And now Backus on to Steen. Steen into the zone. Pass across. Here's Oshie. And then back to Steen. And just off the mark. And now the Bruins to center ice. Griffith a pass. And Lucic darts in. Right in front. Shot by Krejci. Did get a lot on it and went wide. And Cole the other way. Lapierre almost runs into his own man, Steen. Steen carries on, though. Wide open Bouwmeester. In on goal. A shot. And a great save there by Rask. Now Pietrangelo drive. And that was blocked in a slot. And the Bruins to center ice.
That's a good shift by Alexander Steen right there. Terrific shift.
And here comes Reed. He'll dance by Paille. Played around by Krug. And now for Simon Gagne. And the Bruins to center ice. Dumped in deep by Paille.
A chance by Jay Bouwmeester. Here's the high slot area, quality shooting area there against Tuukka Rask, who came out to get away from the congestion in the crease to challenge it. He was about 3 feet outside the blue paint.
That's exactly where he scored his only goal this year in the deep slot against the Rangers, which tied a game a few weeks ago. Now Shattenkirk, he reverses the flow for Gunnarsson. And Gunnarsson a pass to center. And now Berglund goes for a skate back in his own zone. Shattenkirk. And then Gunnarsson tipped along by Lindstrom. And that goes wide. Berglund back of the goal. Can't get there. Soderberg to center ice. That pass goes to the Blues player. Now Kelly at the line on a delayed offside. Now it's onside. Here's Eriksson with it. Eriksson to the point, and a shot by Morrow was off a stick.
That's just the result of a battle at the blue line. Lindstrom wasn't able to get the puck out.
And then Stastny for the Blues. Up the boards. Lindstrom now on for Shattenkirk. And he gets his engine revving here. Shattenkirk comes in. And he just floats a wrist shot into the midsection of Rask. And we get a stopper.
Well, see the desperation showing here with the Blues with the little switch too, with Steen moving with Backus and Oshie. Here's at the end of the shift, a great pass there by Steen over to Bouwmeester jumping up with the play. Lapierre's the Blues forward that's behind the goaltender and battling with Hamilton there. That's why the goaltender Rask had to come out and challenge that shot. And he did a good job of cutting down the angle. Maybe if Bouwmeester holds on to it a little bit, he can change the angle of attack slightly. But so a little subtle change there by Ken Hitchcock. Steen with Backus and Oshie, and Berglund with Stastny and Lindstrom. Keeping the STL line together.
Now Laterra wins the face-off, but it Karams to the corner and steered around by Seidenberg. The Blues lost their first game of the year to the Rangers. Since then, they have won their last 5 against Eastern teams. The trail here 2-0. Knocked down by Tarasenko at center ice. In with Laterra. Here they come. And Tarasenko trying to cut to the middle. And a good back check breaks that up.
No surprise by the Selke Award winner, Patrice Bergeron. Great hockey sense defensively by Bergeron right there.
And now Bouwmeester. And his wrist shot. That's swollen and covered by Rask. And another whistle.
Now we'll get back to that Bergeron play, but in the meantime, Matt Bartkowski gets our Nissan check of the game right there. On Steen, gets him on the inside. That was early on in the hockey game. And then this play here is much debated. Even though he gets puck first, he still trips up Tarasenko, which the new rules would be that would be a minor penalty. It happened a little later in the game, later in the period, excuse me, with it was Adam McQuaid that did the same thing on Oshie. In the old days, if you got puck first and still tripped the player, it was no penalty. Now it is.
Now Steen on the faceoff. Jackman cannot hold it in. And he wins the battle from Krejci. Now Jackman ahead for Steen. Across, Oshie with a move and a shot, and he had it blocked. Good job there by Bartkowski. And the Bruins put it off the glass and out. Here's Jackman, a long pass, tipped. Moved in by Steen. Two Bruins collapse on him, but Steen wins that puck battle. And then back is for Cole. He comes in. And on the backhand, a pass block. Cleared, not out. Kept in by Jackman. And a shot. Hit Oshie on the way through. And then Backus took it off his head like a soccer player. That was a unique play. And it comes out of the zone. David was a soccer player in Minneapolis. Blues are changing here. As Oshie rags the puck, then he gets knocked down by nobody, and Berglund comes in to the backhand. Now to the forehand. Back to Shattenkirk, a shot. That was blocked. Shattenkirk again in the slot. Off Berglund's stick and then taken by Payet. And he was stripped in front by Lindstrom. And the puck is loose and covered by Rask. As Lindstrom stripped a Bruin player. It's still 2-0 Boston here in the third.
Here's a Bommarito Automotive Group Sports Update. Blues in Montreal Thursday tonight. The Penguins all over the Habs. That's Brandon Sutter with his 5th of the season. Makes it 3-0 Pittsburgh. That's a score now very late in the second period. John and Darren, back to you in Boston.
Thanks, Pat. Face off in the Bruins zone. Shots in the game 22-15 for the Blues, but they trail by 2. It is Stastny between Berglund and Lindstrom. And the face-off controlled by Boston. Face-offs were dead even after 2. That's lobbed in by Eriksson. Shot around by Soderberg, and now picked up by Stastny. That pass blocked by Kelly. And then a good stick there by Lindstrom. And Bartkowski sends it around the board to this side. Now Gunnarsson trying to hold it in. And he does just that. Morrow, far side for Bartkowski. Great wide feet, too far for Eriksson.
Bruins still playing with 5 defensemen, with Adam McQuaid not returning after blocking a shot in the second.
Now a drive by Schwartz on goal, and Rask makes that save.
Time now for our Jim Butler Chevrolet.com Powerhouse Plays. You'd expect a little physicality, a little hip check there by Hamilton. Strip up there on the far boards, and look at that hit by Payet. Man, oh man, a player's in a vulnerable spot right there, and he just got drilled. That was Cole getting drilled by Payet.
And now Laterra on a face-off. Goes ahead with it, but then lobbed to center ice. Omeister for Tarasenko.
It's been impressive with Jori Laterra, obviously his offense, but defensively, John, in his own zone, he's 62% on the draws.
Here's Tarasenko on drive. Oh, what a save there by Rask. And it's loose. One into the near boards. And Omeister can't hold it in. What a stop there by Rask on Tarasenko.
This line's getting hotter here. This line's creating a lot more opportunities, sensing the moment. The STL line for the Blues.
And Schwartz a pass down the boards. Bruins get it back, and here's Krejci. First game back after missing 4. And he gets in, but the play is offside.
Well, Tuukka Rask has been the difference maker in this hockey game. The Blues are getting some quality chances here. On your classic little rush right there, center lane drive by Laterra allows the weak side winger open, which is Tarasenko, and that quick release before Riley Smith can get back and whack the hands right there. Tarasenko has another good chance. Tuukka Rask is challenging. He's coming out, maybe a little backdoor, side door kind of play. Just off the post kind of redirection is the one that's going to be able to get behind him because he's been very aggressive, not deep in his net at all.
As Lucic and Oshie fight for space, and they are warmed. And it's dropped unfairly. The STL line with 41 points in the last 11 games.
Just amazing.
It's a big number.
Here we go.
Oshie gets away from Lucic. Here he comes. And he can't get around Hamilton. And now the puck walked along by Krejci. Shattenkirk back defensively. And he makes a good play around to Gunnarsson. And then Backes hammered, but he gets it out. Fired right back in by Dougie Hamilton. Now Shattenkirk for Gunnarsson. And the right winger is Oshie's wide open. He comes in. And a shot. Oh, the Bruin player Hamilton almost knocked it back in his own net. And Rask had to be very alert. And now Backes involved in front.
That was a lacrosse ball there coming with the kind of bounce that it had going in on Rask. And look at the cut lip there by David Backes. In tight as they battle here. As you see Oshie on the far side took a nice pass from Gunnarsson. And here's the hot potato right here. And boy, Rask does a brilliant job of squeezing his elbow into the side of his body to keep it out. And we'll see Rask with the blocker save. Now the rebound there right off his defenseman Hamilton's twig right there. And then you see David Backes comes in. That's where you see the little bit of a skirmish there. No calls on the play at all. Just battle in front. But look at the blood there from the lower lip of David Backes.
What a save on the rebound by Rask. Off his own man Hamilton. And now it is Stastny, Bergman, and Ott for the Blues. As they look for some kind of offense, down by 2. Stastny wins the faceoff. Back for Bouwmeester. On the wall for Ott. Quick pass. Here's Pietrangelo. And a shot doesn't get through the traffic in front. And Soderberg lobs it out. Blues have it. Here they come again. Berglund drops it for Stastny. And then Berglund spins out of the corner for Bouwmeester. And he walks the line. Out of Pietrangelo, a shot. And that's right into the midsection of Rask. And we get that stoppage. Still 2-0 Bruins. Well, a big week coming up at Scott Trade Center. Through Tuesday, rather. Ottawa's in town on the 25th. And then Friday, Edmonton. So I know a lot of family will get together. College kids are home for the week, so it should be a lot of fun next week at Scott Trade.
It always is. Great to have that family atmosphere. Get down there. That atmosphere on Saturday with the Washington Capitals in town was fantastic.
Now the Blues, midway through this third period. Trailing by 2. Bergeron in the first, Krug in the second for Boston. And it is Steen. He comes in 1-on-3. Steen a pass to Gunnarsson, a shot. Just wide of the goal. What a setup by Steen.
Steen's had a couple of beauties here in this period. That's an excellent backhand pass, finding the late man Gunnarsson.
Now Steen. That pass a little bit too soft. That's picked off. Griffith comes in and a shot up high by Lucic. And that hit glass.
I saw Lucic in the morning skate fire one like that right off the shoulder of Rask. He didn't ever jump off his stick. That just exploded.
And now Tarasenko. And that's broken up by Lucic, and the Bruins have it again. Stolen back on the goal, though, by Laterra. Great stick there. But he can't make a play. And Griffith away for Boston. Krejci into Lucic. He goes wide on Cole in front of the net. And that went right through the blue paint. And then Tarasenko wins the battle down low. For Laterra. Center ice for Cole. Into Schwartz. And a shot and a blocker save by Rask. Schwartz after the rebound. Get some support there from Lapierre. And back to the line now for Barrett Jackman. And then Reeves throws it back to the cage. Rask wanders a bit now for Bartkowski. On to center. is Reeves for Lapierre, a drive, and that was blocked. Lapierre works in the corner against Campbell. And then stolen by Lapierre. Centered by Lindstrom. That goes between the point men and all the way down the ice. 8:15 to go in regulation time. Blues have outshot the Bruins 27-15. Bouwmeester for Stastny. And that goes deep. Hamilton. And around the boards for Paille. Can't clear it. Stastny with it. And then Petrangelo for Berglund. And his pass goes to the Bruin player, Paille.
Not enough support there. Berglund ends up on a 1-on-2 on the far side, and the third man of the Boston Bruins was nearby as well. The classic swarming team in the defensive zone.
Here's Ott. Great pass, Petrangelo. And a drive on goal. And a save again by Rask. He stopped all 28 Blues shots tonight.
Ken Hitchcock's got 669 career NHL wins. Looking for 670. Mazda drive to the net. You see the D-to-D pass. Torrey Krug with a wrister right there. Finds its way through the hole. Just goes to show you it doesn't have to be hard. It just has to be accurate. Find its way through the seams. Former CCHA Player of the Year, Torrey Krug. He's got a good wrister.
And 14 goals as a rookie. Third most among all rookie defensemen in Bruins history. And I know you know who has the most as a rookie defenseman. The great Raymond Bourque.
I was going to say Robert Bourque-Nord.
Yeah, he'd be a good guess as well.
We're both hanging from the rafters anyway.
Now Petrangelo for Tarasenko. Nice pass into the zone. Shattenkirk back in front off a skate. Schwartz fell down, and that allows Lucic to come to center ice. For Krejci. Krejci lobs it in, and that is gloved by Elliott with 7 minutes left in the third.
You can't squander scoring opportunities when you're down by a couple of goals, and the Blues did just that. And then with Schwartz falling down in the neutral zone, it ends up being a 2-on-2 coming back towards Brian Elliott. But that's the best scenario that you could ask for. Just a little flipper that you could easily grab a hold of and face off to the left to settle things down. Look for Steen's third period has been awfully good here. He'd be a player that you would look for. Tarasenko's got that urgency to his game as well. But no matter where you are in the offensive zone, you're going to have to put the puck towards the net. You can't be reluctant and give away a scoring chance and have the momentum go the other way.
Krejci wins the face-off from Backes. And a drive by Hamilton. That was blocked in front. Knocked to the corner by Bouwmeester. And then Steen up the boards, head out. It is Bouwmeester on with Gunnarsson here. As the Blues chip it, that goes all the way down. Rask puts it off the corner boards. Now Lucic, he's mauled by Gunnarsson.
Next pairing, drop it off. Next pairing, then John, looks like Shattenkirk and Petrangelo, two offensive-minded guys.
Here's Krejci.
Look for them to keep pucks in, take a few chances, get involved in the offense.
Yeah, they were on with the Laterra line the previous shift. Here's Oshie in for Steen. And that's scooped up by the left mid of Rask.
Rask swallows up a lot of this stuff. Typical of the Finnish goaltenders. He has good hands. They promote catching pucks in Finland. We've seen that from Tuukka Rask. So those kind of plays just end up being dead plays. Not so bad because you end up getting an offensive zone face-off.
And he and Laterra, great friends, both from the Tampere area in Finland. A city of about 250,000, which is the third largest in Finland, a country of about 6 million. Petrangelo a drive, and that was off a body. That hit Eriksson. Now Eriksson trying to clear it, kept in. And then Petrangelo lost the handle, and here come the Bruins, led by Kelly. All Chris Kelly does is ladle one to the corner. Petrangelo back to get it. Now Stastny on to Berglund. 3-on-3 through center ice. Berglund flies it in. Leaves it for Stastny. A shot. And Rask square to the shooter again. He has had all the answers. It's still 2-0 for the home team.
Well, 5:37 left to go. Blues trailing by a couple. They could use some offense from their offensive-minded defensemen in terms of scoring chances, and that brings us to our Plaza Tire Service shot comparison. 5 shots for Alex Pietrangelo compared to 1 for Dougie Hamilton, and 7 now is the total. 5 blocked by Hamilton, only 2 blocked by Pietrangelo. And you can be sure that the Blues defensemen will be playing the clock right now, meaning pinching, keeping pucks in the offensive zone. Have to take some chances.
Yeah, the S-tail line is on the ice here. Bruins win the face-off. Seidenberg to center. Now gets it again. And off the leg of Campbell. For Krug up the wing. And chipped in by Smith. Bouwmeester back to get it now for Gunnarsson. And then Schwartz on to Bouwmeester. And with those long strides he gets to the red line. As the Blues play dump and chase him. Terra after it. Along with Schwartz. And the puck's knocked to the corner. Worked out by Bergeron. Here's Laterra for Bouwmeester. And he and Gunnarsson wait for the line change to be completed. That was intended at center for Backes. And he was knocked off the puck. Krejci. And then Lucic will dump it in. Elliott puts it off the glass, and here come the Blues to center ice. Now Backes for Steen. Up the middle for Oshie. And, oh, just offside. And we get a stoppage. Well, did Oshie's time off with a concussion help his game? Luke Thompson gives his take on FoxSportsMidwest.com. Give Luke a read. It's good stuff.
TJ Oshie is such a spirited player, such a positive personality. That is so relevant as far as the Blues are concerned. No secret that they play better with TJ Oshie in the lineup. I wonder if this line here, going back to Steen, Backes, and Oshie, stays together for the next game in Montreal.
That would be Thursday night. As the Blues get into the zone, Steen now steered around by Soderberg. Then back down with 4:05 left in the third. Blues have been blanked twice this year by the Ducks and Kings. Now it is Ott with Stastny. Kept in Bouwmeester. Now for Stastny. All they can do is play one to the corner. Ott there along with Berglund. And then Stastny now for Berglund. Well, Berglund finally gets it out of the pack. Everybody is covered. And a long shot by Bouwmeester. Not a lot of jam on that one. Kept out of there. Here's Berglund. For Bouwmeester. Works in. A drive. Oh, with the rebound. Had a wide open net, but he just missed it. And it's shot down the ice.
Came off a skate. Never reached Tuukka Rask. Came off a skate and right on the tape to Ott. As Ott basically is replacing Joakim Lindstrom on that line with Stastny. They're on the skate plate there of the defenseman Morrow. And then you see the release there of Ott. Comes here and just goes underneath the stick.
And now we get a timeout.
Timeout, Boston.
By head coach Claude Julien. After that icing call.
Ott looking for his first goal, and the head coach of the Boston Bruins has some ties with the St. Louis Blues. How about this young Claude Julien? The Salt Lake Golden Eagles.
Yeah, that was the farm club for the Blues for a while.
Well, the Ottawa native. I used to prepare like so many other Ottawa area guys, and out in Nepean, Ontario, just outside of Ottawa. And Claude Julien would skate and prepare. We were talking about that this morning. And then he scored a couple of goals on me in the American Hockey League with the Fredericton Express. And he always makes sure he lets me know about that.
And I'm sure you and Claude spent some time on the Rideau Canal in Ottawa.
Yeah,
The
having
famous canal that people skied on all winter.
some chocolate show, huh?
Missouri Lottery Blues Live comes your way next with 3:16 left in the third. Pat Gurney down in the studio. Aaron will head to the locker room for interviews. Here's Laterra on the face-off.
Well, hopefully we can get Ballpark Village hopping with a goal and get the Blues into this one.
And Laterra wins it from Campbell, but now they say it was dropped unfairly.
It looked like it never hit the ice. Looked like it actually hit the glove beforehand, so that puck's gonna hit the ice first.
And Laterra looks back to Pietrangelo. And now the Blues have pulled their goaltender.
And they added 2 seconds on the clock.
6 attackers here now. And Laterra ties up his man. Puck comes free for Morrow. Near wing now. Pietrangelo comes in. And then grabbed by the Blues. Schwartz to the back. Shattenkirk. A shot. Hit a skate in front. Tarasenko for Schwartz. Held up by Gagne. And then it's picked up by Berglund. Now centered
It's in the
off
net.
the lane. And where is it? They say no goal. Rask now looks back, and I have no idea where that puck was. And we'll get a review on this. You can be sure.
And the referee looked uncertain, without a doubt. This clanged off the side of the net, off the right leg of Tuukka Rask, and he was spinning around trying to locate the puck. Schwartz off the side of the net, he kept it in with his left, inside of his left leg, it looked like he kept that in. The overhead, tough to determine whether or not you can see what, no, you can't see where that puck is from there. The referee is in excellent position, though, and he's pointing certainly to the puck. He feels he's got a pretty good beat on that puck. Well, the puck now is in the feet, the skate there of underneath just by Tarasenko there. And you can see Tuukka Rask is doing his best right there to spin around and check it out.
So no goal. But I think, as you said, Darren, it was the left pad that kept it out.
Right there. See, just inside his left pad, he swung that because he was, you do whatever you have to do at that particular moment because it was awkward because the puck probably surprised him going off the side of the net. That quick little play by Schwartz was getting drilled in the corner as he was firing it towards the net.
So after a Blues timeout, 2:50 left, and they leave Elliott on the bench for 6 attackers. It's Laterra, Berglund, Tarasenko, Schwartz up front. Pietrangelo and Shattenkirk back on defense. Laterra against Bergeron. And the draw controlled by Bergeron. And now to center ice off Kelly's skate. Here are the Bruins at the empty net, and a shot went wide. Off the stick of Smith. That's a break for the Blues. Now Pietrangelo for Shattenkirk. Hands it on to Tarasenko. And then Schwartz up the middle. One pass, block. Now Berglund a drive, on goal. And a save by Rask. And then Berglund gets it back to the point. Shattenkirk to Pietrangelo. And that shot. And a save by Rask. With Schwartz right in front of him.
It has been one and done against Tuukka Rask in this hockey game for the Blues. And that's a good D-to-D stretch pass there along the blue line. But Tuukka Rask, again, his positioning has been very, very good in this game. And here's Shattenkirk. He's going to head up all the way. One-timer. I mean, that's the right play all the way around. With Schwartz in front of the net, and you see where Tuukka Rask is. He's not getting pushed back. He stays with his toes right on the top of the crease. And goals against average by season.
Awfully good. Not as good as his Vezina Trophy season a year ago, but he has been spectacular tonight, stopping 31. Now it is Stastny. The goaltender remains off. 2:19 left. Stastny wins it cleanly. Back for Bouwmeester. And his shot, and a glove save by Rask.
Well, neither one of the guys on the point are guys that throw it heavy towards the net, but they both have good, strong little wrist shots that can get through. Gunnarsson and Bouwmeester. We'll see if they a change on that. Yep, going right back to Pietrangelo and Shattenkirk.
See if Stastny can win another faceoff here. And against Bergeron, he does just that. Now Pietrangelo, and that's off a stick well wide. Steen, his pass back was picked off by Soderberg, and then Stastny will take a penalty, and he'll go off for hooking, his first minor in 2 games.
Shot gets deflected by Eriksson from Pietrangelo, and then the reason why the Blues are having to go back the other way is because Steen's pass gets picked off as he's trying to go to the point. So Stastny's hook stops the Bruins from firing it into an empty net. But it did all start with the pass from the corner to the point getting picked off.
And the Blues did not take a minor in their last game. Almost 2 straight games. And they cleared down the ice. And a hooking minor to Paul Stastny. Bruins power play ranked 8th in the league at 22%. At home they're 32%. Kruger drive and a save by Elliott. And now it's on ahead for Steen. Blues thinking short-handed goal here. Steen slides it through to Pietrangelo. And no play is there. And then he works the puck to the corner. On Bartkowski. That comes free. Backus back to Jackman. There goes Elliott off for the extra man. 5-on-5 here. And a shot by Pietrangelo. Stopped in front by Krug. And the Bruins shoot it down the ice. And will it go all the way? No, the ice a bit slower here in the third. And slow the puck down. With an empty net. Tarasenko drops it off. Under a minute to go in regulation. Tarasenko gets it back from Jackman. Tarasenko to center ice, now into Shattenkirk. And his wrist shot blocked. And again flown down the ice by Boston. This time it will go down for the icing. Tonight on Fox Sports Live, Brady Quinn in studio discussing college football playoff rankings. College hoop highlights, including number 5 Kansas against number 1 Kentucky and number 19 Michigan State taking on Duke. Plus John Calipari on Fox Sports Live.
Got Tarasenko on the point here.
But the Bruins win the face-off. Seidenberg gets it near the line. Kept in by Tarasenko. Griffith drops it off. And an empty net shot will go wide by about a foot. As Hamilton almost put this game on ice.
Faceoff's now going to be on the right side instead of the left side. David Backus going to come out for the draw. I'm sure that Tarasenko will stay on the ice as this one just misses on the empty net.
Now 26 seconds left. Backus on the face-off against Kelly.
That's 2 or 3 times now that the face-off being pushed to the boards and the Blues forward has overskated it, and the winger of the Boston Bruins has been able to get easy outs.
He was hit by Lucic. Lost his helmet, but he's okay. Now Tarasenko for Backus to Schwartz. Tarasenko drive right on goal and a save, and that sort of sums up the night.
Doesn't it?
It really does. He has had all the answers.
He has had all the answers. He's controlled rebounds. He has made so many timely saves in this hockey game. Here's the play by Steen as he tries to roll off that hit by Lucic. No problem with that right there as far as the hit is concerned. And then Schwartz, that's how quickly they can make a play, these guys. So Backus plays it to Schwartz. Schwartz right back there to Tarasenko, and quick shot and quick response.
Bruins win the face-off, and an empty netter. I don't think it will count. It doesn't matter. The game is over as Rask gets his first shutout this year, first against the Blues, and 24th in his career. As the Bruins win 2-0.
Now he's a big difference in this hockey game. Certainly the Blues had a bit of an eye-opener here in this hockey game. They were not that prepared they were not that sharp to begin this hockey game, and then eventually ended up having 33 shots against Tuukka Rask, the Finnish-born goaltender, and the reigning Vezina Trophy winner with his 24th career shutout. He's our Bud Light player of the game, and why wouldn't he be?
And the Blues lose in this building for the first time since January of 2001. They had won 6 in a row